Okay, and we are ready, everyone. We are going to be going now to EarthBound. No, sorry, not yes. Yes, we're going to EarthBound. I know exactly where we're going. Take it away, my friends.
Hello, everybody, and thank you for being here. Welcome to EarthBound All Photos. My name is DanielRGT. I'm not the runner. The runner of this running for you today is the lovely octopuscal, who is from Japan and is streaming live from Japan right now. Unfortunately, his English is not super strong. So I will be doing a lot of the talking and explaining. But octopuscal, why don't you say hello and introduce yourself? Thank you so much, Octo. So we had the naming incentive for the kids. The reason why, unfortunately, we can only name them one character's length is due to some reasons I'll start explaining as the run starts. But we have LFR, so thank you so much for everyone who donated for that. But other than that, we are basically ready to go. So I'm gonna give a countdown. Octo, are you ready? Okay, no, I won't give a countdown then. I'm just kidding. Okay, no problem. So we're just going to be fixing some audio issues. So in the meantime, let me talk about a little bit about what all photos percent means. In EarthBound, if you're not familiar with it, there's parts of the game where there's a photo man who comes and takes your picture. It's very quirky and fun. And the goal of this category is to beat the game while collecting all of these. So it's a really interesting run. I'm really excited to present it to everyone.
So how far out of the way do you have to go for to get some of these photos?
It's a heavily glitched category, which you wouldn't think, but it's going to be a wild. It's going to be a wild ride. I think it's going to be very, very fun. If you love EarthBound, this is a very unique way of seeing it played, in my opinion. We're going to be seeing a lot of fun tricks, and pretty quickly at that.
Okay.
We're still working on fixing some audio issues. Okay, Octo, the audio didn't go through when you introduced yourself, so could you please say hello once again?
Sorry. Hello, I'm octopuscal. I will do my best. Thank you.
Okay, we got that. Okay. Okay, so I'm ready to give a countdown if y'all are ready.
Oh, we were born ready.
Countdown.
Okay, so
Okay.
3. Okay, you want to give the countdown, Octo? Go ahead.
3, 2, 1, go.
Thank you so much for that, Octo. So as the game begins, we start here on our first town here in Onet. Now, as I mentioned, we named all the children single character names. This is for manipulation reasons. We are going to be doing a lot of RNG manipulation in this category. Well, not a lot, but there's a chunk. There's a chunk of RNG manipulation, and the reason why we have to name all the characters of the game only have one character strings as their name is because every time a character of text is printed, RNG advances by 1. So the longer your name, the more RNG advances. And so when we reset the console, it's going to always reset the console to a known RNG value. And then that way it can update in ways that are always the same way. So as long as the characters are named one character length long, then the manipulation can be consistent, and you can get the game to kind of do whatever you want. Now, this first part of the game, there's no enemies. We're just going to see Octo pick up some equipment, equip it. He's going to hit some story triggers, and it's just kind of your basic RPG start. But very quickly, once we hit a couple of story triggers, you're actually going to see Octo reset the console. And that's because he's going to be doing a piece of manipulation right at the beginning here, fairly shortly. And it's to skip essentially like the first boss of the game. Normally you wouldn't be able to skip him. He stands directly in your way, and you have to fight him. But there is one sneaky way you can do it, and we're gonna see it in the upcoming manipulation. Now, there's a lot of things that affect the RNG in EarthBound. Like I said, characters with text printed on the screen will advance RNG. Opening and closing the menu also advances RNG. If there's any NPCs that move randomly, anytime they stop and start, it advances RNG. And also, Ness's movement even affects RNG. The game is divided into tiles of 64 by 64 pixels. So you can think of that as, each individual tile. Anytime you cross the border of one of those tiles, RNG advances as well. And so we saw, there's a blue hat, a guy wearing a blue hat moving randomly outside. He's advancing RNG just with his movement. So there's a lot of things that are moving the RNG forward. So we have to be very consistent in how we do our inputs and our movement. It's fairly precise, but there is a little bit of a leeway. It's not like the most precise manipulation, but it is very, very difficult, especially in PB attempts, because we try and hold manipulation for as long as possible. In some categories, glitchless, for example, we hold manipulation from the beginning of the game for 32 minutes straight, which is very difficult to do. Thankfully, we're in a marathon. We don't have to worry about trying to land 32-minute long manipulation. We get to reset the console and reset the RNG to a known value. And that's going to happen here very shortly. Once we talk to our mom, get dressed, because we're not dressed appropriately to go outside right now. So he's got to put on the right clothes. Can't go out in your jammies.
I mean, sure you can.
There actually is a category called Pajama Percent about keeping Ness in his pajamas throughout the entire run. It's a New Game Plus run, but it's very cool.
I've also seen this category. Can confirm. Super cool.
Yeah. So the game here has Dad call you. This is something that always happens. Normally you call your dad to save the game. The game creates its first save after this conversation. So as soon as this conversation is over, you're going to see Octo reset the console. And then he's going to start the manipulation here. So what he's doing, resetting the RNG to a known value. And then B, he's going to be doing opening and closing the menu, kind of moving RNG forward here and there. To make sure there's no enemies in his path except for one particular one that we're going to fight. And we're actually going to let it rough us up a little bit. And that's because we're going to be doing a death warp to skip this first boss. Normally, the game would have this guy be completely in your way, and you wouldn't be able to get past him. And it tries its best to not let you do this, but us speedrunners found a way, and honestly, casual players have found a way too. This has been well documented for a very, very long time as a potential way to skip the first boss, whose name is Starman Jr. And so you see Octo defeat the crow here. This is mainly actually for the cookie. The cookie drop is actually very, very useful later on. It only heals for 6 HP, but we're not going to have a lot of HP, and we kind of need that to survive in certain situations. You're going to see a snake spawn here. We're going to keep that snake on screen. Normally, as soon as you talk to Picky at the top here, what the game does is it turns off spawns and gives you this next character named Buzz. And basically, it turns off spawns in an attempt to say, there's no way you can death warp now. There's no enemies to kill you. You have to fight Starman Jr. But we've kept the snake secretly on screen. You can't quite see him, but he's there at the bottom of the cliff. Octo has not despawned him. And we're going to get into a fight with that snake, and he is going to, unfortunately, knock us out. But it will let us wake up right back at our house on our phone, and that's past the trigger for the Starman Jr. fight. So we're actually just going to kind of walk behind where he would normally spawn and just skip him completely. Which means we don't get the guaranteed level up that he gives us. So we're still level 1. And we're going to be level 1 for a little bit. You'll see it here momentarily. This text is about to end. Pokey's just complaining, and then the snake will still be here. And now we get into a fight with the snake. And Buzz he's programmed, he's scripted. He's always going to put a psychic shield up because he's only there to help you for the Starman Jr. fight. So he doesn't actually really help in this snake fight. And so we say yes to the revive, and thankfully the nice part about EarthBound is when you respawn at the telephone, it saves whatever progress you made, whatever story triggers you've done. It just only Ness will be alive, and it halves the money you had on hand. You can store money in an ATM in order to prevent losing half your money upon KO and stuff like that. But the only deaths we're going to be having in this run are all the planned ones, and this is the first of many, actually, technically. But from here, we're going to be. I think we withdraw money here in the Onet Hotel, or we might be picking up something for Marathon safety, but. We will be saving here again and resetting the console once again because we're level 1 and we don't want to, it would be nice to stay in Onet and do the whole story and fight all the bosses of Onet and gain levels and experience, but we want to go fast and we want to break out of Onet. So even though Onet's police force is known for putting barricades in the way, this is true, this is fact, this is what they're known for. Even though they're known for putting barricades and just blocking paths arbitrarily, even at that, we are going to break out of Onet. And this was one of the big things discovered roughly around 2019 that really sped up the category. A lot of glitch categories, quite a lot. Right now, we're not manipulating anymore. So this is just regular RNG. Octo is just reacting to enemies, despawning them. He doesn't want to get into a fight right now. He's going to be picking up the town map. This is important because there's going to be a glitch later on where we're going to kind of need to reload the area in a way. And one of the ways you can do that is with the town map. It will make more sense as the run gets to that point, but just keep it in mind. And then now I believe he's going straight to the hotel, and either he's going to instantly save or he's going to withdraw some money and save. Yeah, he withdraws here some money. This is to buy a skip sandwich coming up here in Tucson. This is a very important item to do something called a cliff skip, which is how we're going to be able to get our sort of walk out of bounds, our first little look at it. But we're going to save here and reset. And the way we're going to break out of Onet now is we're going to talk about a sprite overload glitch. So what's going to happen is Octo is going to manipulate a bunch of sprites to be on the screen, enemies in particular. The game only has so many places in memory it can hold all of these sprites. It has something like, I forget the exact number, but it only has so many, and we're going to give it one too many. And so what it does is when it tries to load the one that is one too many, it deletes the one that's in the first slot and then just replaces it. So the barricade is now up there. The truck, goodbye. And now we're just going to walk through this barricade like it wasn't even there. And that's how you break out of Onet at level 1 and pick up this exit mount. And so this is unmanipulated for here. This is called stutter stepping. Some enemies you can get past them by, they only move like every 8th frame of Ness's movement. So you can sort of like tap your D-pad to only do like the first couple frames. And then the same thing here. He's looking up for spawns. We're not manipulated anymore. So we're just going to be picking up a skip sandwich and potentially saving, because there is about a small chance that getting into 3, we could get into a fight. It's like a 5% spawn chance. We'll see what Octo does, but it looks like he's going just straight for the cliff skip. So this first cliff skip, we can kind of it's weird to explain, but there's an arithmetic error in Ness's like movement calculation. So there's a rounding error that happens every couple frames where if you're moving in cardinal directions, he sometimes moves 2 pixels forward instead of just 1. And this kind of allows you to squeeze yourself through tight spaces in certain scenarios. You can see the borders of these are just any pixel that's black is something that has a hitbox. And then this one, the pixels are such in a way that the extra speed from the skip sandwich is required to move Ness's body past those pixels and squeeze through with that type of same rounding error. Oh no, this is the 5% chance! This is exactly what I was talking about! We're gonna try and run away. This is we're level 1, so we have a negative chance to run away right now. This almost certainly will kill us. We get one more chance here. Unfortunately, no. So reset, we're gonna have to do the Onet manip yet again. That's a 5% chance here on RPG Limit Break. Well, you wouldn't have it any other way in a marathon, would you, Ray? Just the...
Oh yeah, we would absolutely have it like this. Well, while we're doing that again, can I read out some donations?
Absolutely, take it away.
Excellent. We have a $50 donation from Profness. Support local journalism. Recruit a reporter. We have $100 from Lecky saying, first RPG I ever beat. Much like many kids from my generation, I won completely by accident. So happy to see this one being run. This will be a wild ride. All together now, say Fuzzy Pickles.
Fuzzy Pickles.
Gotta have those fuzzy pickles. We also have $100 from Wells. Thank you so much. Now, for those, while we're going through this, for those who might be new to EarthBound, what's the relevance of fuzzy pickles?
It's what the cameraman just says for some reason. I don't know why he says it. It weirded me out as a kid. It's confusing to me as an adult. But it's just what that guy says.
That's fair.
It's one of those things that either you're gonna have to ask that guy or ask someone who knows the answer, who worked on the game. I don't know.
That's fair. Hey, chat, if you know anything about these mythical fuzzy pickles, why don't you let us know? And until then, let's get our fuzzy pickles ready so we can cheer along when we're getting our picture taken. Maybe we can even start a $5 donation train with fuzzy pickles. Just a thought. I'm also still so impressed with this.
Yeah, it's none of these tricks that Octo is doing are very easy, but luckily we found a lot of consistent ways. Unfortunately, the best way for this one is to kind of just like jam yourself into this corner. It's something that you can even try at home if you have EarthBound. You kind of just kind of mash Ness into that corner. And eventually you'll see, like he'll make it through. It's this cliff skip is the one that's like far more difficult because it requires the skip sandwich. We have a very precise setup that we use. So that Octo makes sure he lands it every single time with that setup, because otherwise we would just be using the skip sandwich and we have a very limited amount of time for it to allow us to have extra speed. See, it's already run out. The enemies are close, but I actually don't think that guy will be a problem. He's trying to despawn him, but I think he could have just gone above. We're gonna pick up a skip sandwich here. We're gonna hit a story trigger. There's enemies everywhere. 3 is coming. Oh my gosh.
You have to stop commentator cursing.
Listen, you know, it's an unfortunate burden I must bear as the commentator. But I must continue. I must continue to inform.
And we thank you for that.
Unfortunate. And yeah, this is not manipulated, but thankfully these gravestones here are good like terrain to get enemies stuck on. You've already seen Octo get enemies stuck on like trees and signs and stuff like that. So very, very good stuff to hear. He pauses there because he's waiting to feel for lag, potentially. Lag can sometimes be an indicator that a lot of enemies have spawned at once. And so we try and feel for lag as it's happening. There's going to be a little funny visual glitch here because we just solo Ness right now, but the game expects you to have 2 characters right now, Ness and Paula. So when you get captured like this, you end up in the Zombie 3 jail, as I think it's called. And look, Paula's there. She's here with us. I can't believe we just got a free character. Psych, she's not here at all.
You've tricked us again.
It's okay. She will after this sequence, she actually does join the party automatically. Because this sequence is going to be the winter section, the solo Jeff section of the game. Jeff, a very popular character for people who like to troll me specifically. But also, you know, he's just a fun character. He's like a little nerd kid who like repairs stuff. He's a little shy. You know, in reality, he's a good little bean. But in winters, normally we used to have to do the entire winter sequence as, you know, sort of scripted. But we've also found ways to sort of cliff skip our way and walk out of bounds and skip everything, even here in winters. So the method is slightly different. It uses the same rounding error, but it's more about the repeating of the rounding error rather than just trying to jam yourself through the geometry of it. You repeat the rounding error so much because the arithmetic error involves what refers to your subpixel x and y value, which is hard to explain. But like the pixel is the smallest point that can exist in the game, but you know there's technically a smaller point, so the subpixel is below that. Eventually, because the rounding error advances your subpixel value enough, it actually changes your real pixel x and y value, and it makes the game think that you're on the other side of the cliff all of a sudden. And that's how we're going to be getting through the cliffs here in winters. Before, we weren't able to. We didn't know about the fact that it was the rounding error that caused all of this. We kind of just, you know, because we didn't know what caused cliff skips in general. It took us a while to find. It was also around 2019 that this was discovered, and then we found a consistent setup, and. So Octo here, he's going to sell a bunch of stuff here. A lot of the equipment we just got, we're going to sell for money because we want skip sandwich deluxes. They give you the same speed as a regular skip sandwich, but they make they're like double the time, the amount of speed you get. Like it just lasts for way longer, which is really important for these skips because we have to do that rounding error quite a lot. And what Octo's going to do is he's going to go to a very particular cliff. He's looking for a crow here, by the way. If it's anything else, he's going to despawn it because there's no other way to avoid it. Crows, their movement is really predictable, and you can maneuver around them really easily. So now we got nothing. He's gonna put himself in this corner, and he's gonna hit left and up repeatedly. It's gonna shake the screen a lot, so if you're sensitive to that kind of thing, be aware. But so he lost the spot. He's trying to make it up on the fly, but he might have to just reset here. This is the setup kind of went a little wrong. This is still possible. We'll see if he lands it. Oh, looks close. No, we have to reset.
Sorry.
So it's no problem. This is just the type of thing. There's a setup we use where we try and get ourselves in a weird position that we can hit up against this cliff and not slide off of it. But I think Octo hit left for a little too long there, and then ended up, or maybe he hit a down and left input, which is very, very easy. See, the main thing is that you want to get the cardinal input. You don't want the up and left. You don't want up and left to happen simultaneously. You want left, up, alternating like that. So that's what makes this so particularly hard and annoying to do. And you have to do it quite fast. So it's unfortunately, it's pretty tough on the forearms. But right now this is looking really good and really fast that time. Very nice. Great stuff. And so now we're on the other side. We get to just kind of casually walk through. And we're actually about, I just want to give everyone a heads up, we're actually about to get our first photo of the run coming up here very soon.
Everyone, get your fuzzy pickles ready.
Yeah, fans of EarthBound may have noticed we've walked by a lot of photo triggers right now so far. And don't worry, we're going to get them, but we found the most optimal way to get those in like the least amount of steps. That cave boy is a problem. We need to cliff skip through these. This is just a regular cliff skip like we did in Tucson. Octo is looking for very specific pixel setup here. And then he's going to just go right through. And then he's going to avoid this cave boy, despawn it, and then go back up, and then we're going to get this photo. Here he is. Say fuzzy pickles. So in all, there's 32 photos in the game. So we just got 1 out of 32. Which means there's we still got a chunk of photos to go. What you're going to see here now is you're going to see Octo say we're going to be doing more manipulation, and then there's a lot of glitches I have to explain in very quick succession. So I'm going to take this time now to do my best to prep you for what's to come. We have about a 3-minute cutscene we have to watch, which is watching the Skyrunner. He's going to save and reset here to get the RNG unknown value. And so what Octo is going to do here is he's going to manipulate a fight when we land in Threed. We land in the jail cell, we get out of the jail cell, and we're going to be in one of the graveyards when we get out. And we manipulate it so that we get a fight. We want a fight with at least one zombie. In some cases, we get a zombie and a ghost. Ghosts have a 1 in 16 chance to drop a secret herb, but if you manipulate it, they have a 100% chance to have a secret herb. So in some variations, we'll steal a secret herb from the ghost, which allows us to revive a character when they're downed, or heal a particularly bad status effect or something like that. But the goal of this manipulation is for Paula and Jeff to be KO'd and for Ness to get a cold. One of the attacks the zombies can do is to give you a cold, which is essentially just poison damage, but very, very, very minor. And outside of battle, your health will tick down. The screen flashes red. And when you're at a dangerously low health point, the game gives you a text box that says, "Alert! You're about to be knocked out. You need a heal, like ASAP." And if you interrupt the animation of getting onto stairs, then you can walk out of bounds. This is because when you get onto stairs, the game sort of like guides Ness like along a railing. Essentially, it moves him even if you like let go of the controller, like as you're getting on. And so during that small little bit of adjustment that the game does, it disables collision with anything. But we're interrupting that, and now we can just walk through walls, which is what we're going to do. When we do that, by the way, because you can do this at the top of a set of stairs or the bottom of a set of stairs. When we do that, by the way, the game is going to create a horizontal line across the entirety of the EarthBound map, that if you were to ever cross it, it will pop you back to those stairs. Octo will be doing this at the top of the stairs, so any place above these stairs on the map, he is allowed to go. But if he wants to go below anywhere, it will snap him back to the stairs. The reason we can use this out of bounds like this is because EarthBound is actually just one giant map that it just kind of warps you around. It's not like divided into separate entities. It's just one big map. And then it just teleports you to a different X and Y location. So you can walk pretty much anywhere in the game with this glitch. It just depends which side of the stairs you do the glitch on. For this version of the stairs glitch, because by the way, there's like 3 different versions. But we're gonna see here, we see a ghost and a zombie. And we're manipulating this so that Paula is gonna take mortal damage, and Jeff is going to spy and get a secret herb. That secret herb will stay in his inventory, and we'll use it later potentially. It's for safety in one particular area. You'll also notice that one of the things that happened, I don't know if you caught it, but Ness is going to be possessed by a tiny little ghost. You'll see it flying around his head once we get back out of this battle. This is actually used to help time the stairs glitch. We kind of use the position of this ghost to really help us know when to hit the trigger, and then boom, interrupt it. We're walking out of bounds, baby. And now we're kind of just walking into the ether. You can see nothing's loaded, but we actually just loaded and closed the town map there because now we're in Summers, a town way later in the game. And surprise, here's the second photo of the run. I know that was a lot of information to go through, but this glitch is going to be something that we use quite a lot. And you're gonna attempt to see Octo use again here. He's gonna try and get a stairs glitch on the bottom of the set of stairs he's about to go down. And that's why we needed the cookie and the extra skip sandwich. He goes down these stairs, and that looks good to me. Okay, so now what he's doing, he's gonna out of bounds to a specific tunnel that leads into a city known as Fourside. It's the 4th city in the game. One of the spells you learn in this game is PSI Teleport. And the way you get the teleport is by going into Fourside from that tunnel. You might be confused because you just saw the Fourside appear and then the screen kind of faded in and out and became Summers. The reason is because the game was snapping him back to the stairs because Fourside is above the stairs, like above that horizontal line that I talked about. So the game snapped him back, and it does a bunch of weird glitchy stuff with the graphics. So he opens and closes the map to fix it, and then he just walks into the museum, and he made a copy of his save file here, and now he is dying on this set of stairs. And when the game asked him, "Do you want to revive from your last save?" he said no. We went back to the main menu, and then we loaded our save, and now the out of bounds status is on this save file, and this is a stairs glitch that you're going to see a lot of. It is all over the place. It is the most used glitch in this run, which is to reset the console, to, load the second save file, die on the set of stairs, and then say no to reviving at the phone, and then walk out of bounds from wherever you saved to the next area. And we're going to be getting, this is the third photo, we're going to be getting a lot of the photos this way. But there's, it's more than just walking out of bounds and getting photos, because some photos require certain story triggers to be hit. So Octo and the rest of the community have done a lot of work to figure out the most optimal way to go about this game through this out of bounds process, hitting these triggers and also getting these photos. There's a lot of planning and like experimentation that's been done with this route, because it's not as straightforward as just like, go to photo 1, 2, 3, 4. It's like, okay, well, we have to hit these triggers. So when do we do this? And can we do that? And so one of the things you're seeing Octo do here is we're going to be doing something normally you do as the fourth character, whose name is Pooh. That's his actual name. I'm not like that's his name. And so we're going to be going up here. Pooh is supposed to go to the top here and undergo his special training. But we are kind of out of bounds here, and the game doesn't quite know what to do, so it turned us into Pooh just all of a sudden. Also, the ghost is still there, looking pretty happy, in my opinion.
Sometimes you're happy and big chillin'.
Speaking of big chillin', now would be a good time if you have anything you'd like to add.
Oh, do we? We have $200 from Anonymous. That is, EarthBound is a game my wife introduced me to, and now that we've introduced our daughter to. Remember to check if your employer does donation matching. It's a wonderful way to get more bang for your buck. Fuzzy Pickles. We also have a $500 donation from Justin. I finally got a chance to donate. As someone who fought with mental illness, I fully support Nami's mission. We also have, this is a pretty important one, $10 from EarthBound Photographer. And it just says, Fuzzy Pickles.
That seems appropriate for that guy.
I love that they're taking the time out of the photography career to come say hi to us.
Absolutely. Thank you for the donation. So Octo had a cold here. He died, but he's saved in the palace. So he's just death warping back to the palace here. And then he's going to talk to this guy. And then we get Pooh, who joins our party. And now we have our full party finally of all 4 characters. But then after this, we have a couple photos we're going to be getting. We're going to be getting 2 photos here in Summers. We're going to be going and then saving. So we still have a little more time.
Oh, that's excellent, because I definitely have more to talk about. So we've done an excellent job of meeting our donation incentives for this EarthBound run, but there are more runs coming up that we want to work on. Next up is Phantasy Star Online, episode 1 and 2, and we have a bid war open to name the hero. Currently in the lead is Dexter with $500. Second place is some dude for $151. After that, we have Pokemon Let's Go, Pikachu or Eevee version. So one of those bid wars is to help us choose which game version we're going to be playing. Currently, Eevee is in the lead with $123, and Pikachu has 7. Now, we definitely have time to get Pikachu back in the lead if that's something you're interested in, but maybe we want Eevee. That's up to everyone here. But something we have to meet before the end of that run is an opportunity to beat green. That is currently standing at $1,070 out of a needed $3,000. So if you donate now, you can choose to put your incentive towards that and help us get to that incentive, because we definitely want to fight green. We absolutely not just want to fight, we want to beat green, but we need your help to do it.
So Octo is going to be making a save here, and like I said, we'll be making various saves and resetting the console. He's going to be walking out of bounds to the cabin in Happy Happy Village. So normally this is where you'd originally find Paula, and it's going to be an interesting situation when Paula walks into the cabin and Paula is also trapped inside the cabin at, on both sides of the bars. You'll see what I mean shortly. But the reason we do this is there's two reasons. One, the Franklin badge is an extremely, extremely good item. But two, it is the trigger necessary for a particular fight to spawn outside of the cabin. And when the game spawns this fight, it turns spawns off because it doesn't expect you to have a way to escape this fight. But we have PSI teleport. So we can actually leave before the fight gets triggered. So Paula, this is awkward. This is more awkward than I thought.
That's okay. One's Paula,
Paula,
one's Ghost Paula. So they're two distinct individuals. It's fine.
Yeah, but you will see here, Octo is going to teleport away from this because the game actually allows us to move before you trigger this fight for some reason. I don't know why it lets us, but it does. And now spawns are turned off. So we don't have to worry about random spawns for a very long time because the thing that turns them back on, we're not really ever going to interact with it. Now, this doesn't despawn bosses. Bosses are fixed enemies that stay in place. Any enemies that are like scripted to be there and stuff like that, they will always be there. They cannot be turned off or removed. But the random spawns are now completely turned off. And this will continue for a large chunk of the run. And we're just going to save here again. Stairs glitching, and then we're going to walk out of bounds to the desert. We have to pick up some items, get our 6th photo, because we're at 5 if you've been keeping count. And then there's, we're going to be hitting a couple more story triggers, but in the meantime, this is actually a pretty important. One of the things you're going to see Octo do, apart from talk to this guy, you have to give him some food. So we give him a bottle of water, which is definitely food. But you see Octo is going to enter this hole and leave it. This is for way later, but the way exit mice work is that when you enter, exit mice, when you use them, take you back to the beginning of like a dungeon, right? So if you use an exit mouse like way late in a dungeon, it'll take you right back to the entrance. So that way you can leave, heal, and maybe retry or just escape if you're done with the place. But the way the game tracks that is that when you enter a certain doors, it marks a flag for like exit mouse sends you here. So right now that flag is set to that mole cave. And we're not going to touch any doors that change that flag until we use the exit mouse way later. And we're going to end up back in that hole from like wherever we want. Just the only thing you have to avoid is any of those doors that have that flag. So we know which doors have that flag. It's pretty much the entrance to any dungeon. And since we're walking out of bounds, we don't actually have to hit the entrance of any dungeon. We just get to kind of just walk into it. Another photo here. This is Monotoli, just kind of behind these trees. Get the nice, skyscrapers involved in the shot.
Fuzzy pickles.
We have a little bit of time here if you have some things to go with, but there's after the once the next save happens, we got some stuff to talk about.
Okay, absolutely. I just want to note first off, I love how walls are simply a suggestion in this run, and I kind of feel that in my soul. So as you all know, we're sponsored by Deck 13 this year. Blah, blah, blah. Some marketing speech here about how great we are. Honestly, who cares? Yeah, we publish games, and you should only care for the games. Enjoy our games, wishlist them, and support cool indies. Take a look at Adrova, Spindle, Elements Destiny, Chained Echoes, and Crosscodes. Just want to note, we've had Chained Echoes in this very event if you want to check it out. Or Chained Echoes, yes.
So we're walking pretty far here. We're actually just trying to hit a story trigger right now. We just want to fall down this hole. This sets up some things in Saturn Valley and some things elsewhere. This is one of the requirements to beat the game. You have to fall down this hole. Theoretically, we could out of bounds to Gygus, but Gygus is not prepared yet. The game does some preparation beforehand for the final boss of the game. So Luma falling down that hole is one of the things you have to do to even beat the game, period. Otherwise the game once you get to the prayer sequence in Gygus, it just breaks. It doesn't know what to do. And now this save is very important. I have to bring up, we're going to be walking out of bounds, getting our 8th photo. And then we'll also be, normally when you're walking out of bounds, the only thing you can really kind of interact with is door triggers, like by walking into them. But if you try and like talk to people or interact with a phone or anything like that, or pick up an item even, like in a present box or something like that, it doesn't work. You can't really interact with them, right? You're out of bounds. You're in the other realm, so to speak. But weirdly, one of the key items in the game that you find in Pyramid, called the Hawkeye, is actually accessible completely in the dark. Like you don't have to load the room or anything, and you don't have to so Octo is going to he's gonna walk, he's gonna listen for an audio cue and know when to pick up the Hawkeye, and he's just gonna pick it up, and he'll be like just walking in darkness, but he's gonna pick it up. And so this is the pyramid music. There it is. And he's picked up something just secretly here in the dark. We found a Hawkeye. It's under the museum, I guess. And then this is another story trigger we have to hit. And then after this, we're going to save, and we're going to deal with our first piece of boss manip. And it's a really interesting one that I have to preface with some information. So normally the game holds your stats in battle. Your stats can be positive or negative value. It lets it be negative. They didn't think there was a way to set any of those stats to negative values, but technically it can be a negative value. And since this is a Super Nintendo game, those are 16-bit integer values. So your defense in particular is the one we're going to be talking about here. When Pooh equips non-monk training items like a Holmes hat or a baseball cap, which are meant for the more modern kids, his defense goes to 0. Pooh actually has a special set of equipment. They all are like the Sword of Kings, the Bracer of Kings, the Cloak of Kings, and the Diadem of Kings. He has this 4 special unique items, and those give him extra defense. But if you try and equip anything else on him, his defense is set to 0. So what we're going to do is in the fight, we're going to set his defense to -1 using a defense down prayer that Paula has. Pray is a move that Paula can do. It does a 1 out of 16 different options, and one of those is to cast defense down on everyone on the field. But when the game does calculations for spells and damage and defense and stuff like that, it doesn't allow negative values. It only allows values to be positive. So when it tries to use the negative value, instead, because -1 isn't a value for this, it picks the largest possible number. It wraps all the way around to what the largest possible number can be, which is 65,535. And it does the calculation with that number instead. And so defense down normally, it does your defense divided by 16, and then it does rounds, and it says, this is how much we're going to lower your defense. But when you divide that humongous number, when you use that humongous number in the calculation, all of a sudden your defense is about to go way down. We're going to go far more than -1. So we're moving the Holmes hat here. We're reviving Paula, and we're getting into this plague rat fight. This is manipulated. This is very, very, like, it would be very, very tough to do this unmanipulated. So Paula is gut saving here. Gut saves lets her survive an otherwise lethal attack. Defense down has now put Pooh's defense to -1. Now Pooh has gut saved. Once again, we're doing another defense down prayer, and now his defense has gone down by 4,095. And now we're going to cast a shield beta on ourselves. What this is it's a physical shield that reflects damage back to the attacker. So now Plague Rat is going to hit Pooh for like a ton of damage. It reflects back onto the rat, and then Ness gets the kill with 1 damage. And then gets to hog all the XP, because we want Ness to get all this experience as much as possible, because it makes the Gygas fight a lot more consistent and a lot easier to manipulate as well.
So Pooh does the work and Ness gets the experience. Got it. Understood.
That is sort of the general tone of this run, I would say. Ness will be getting fed pretty much all the experience. There's a short period of time where Jeff and Pooh will also get some experience, because we have to do Mole Cave at some point, and that isn't manipulated, but spawns are turned off, so we just have to fight the moles in there. But there are some further fight manipulations. We still have some other bosses, and even the final fight is going to be manipulated as well. But this was one of my favorite pieces of manipulation that we got to use, because it was a thing we kind of like knew about, but we didn't know how to apply it. And the Japanese runners found a way to really apply it in this route, and I think it's so cool to suddenly see Pooh's defense go down by 4,095.
Cool, and also terrifying.
Yeah, it's not what you want to see.
Also, will these manipulations help us to finally defeat the third strongest mole?
The manipulations? No, we're not using manipulation for them. You know what? We don't dare manipulate the third strongest mole.
No, I wouldn't either.
Yeah. But we got the Magnet Hill heal, which is a trigger we need for a photo, and that exit mouse I talked about earlier sent us back to that cave. But because we hit the story trigger, we exit it and come back in, and now it's turned into Mole Cave, because that's how it's supposed to work anyway. That other room doesn't really... It's on the map somewhere, but there's no door that leads to it anymore. And now we have to fight these moles. Paula will probably die here. It is very, very common. It might even still vaguely be manipulated for her to die. Yeah, see, Octo's not mashing because he doesn't want Paula to have experience. So that part I think is still manipulated. But I think everything after this is pretty much just, I don't know if he's going to keep it manipulated, or he might have a general idea of, just because he's done it so much, what the general variations of RNG are. What you just saw Jeff use, by the way, was a big bottle rocket. I should talk about that. Bottle rockets are an explosive item that only Jeff can use, that do anywhere from 90 to 150 damage or 0 damage, because its chance to miss is based on Jeff's speed versus the enemy's speed. So the higher speed an enemy has, the harder it is to hit with a bottle rocket. A big bottle rocket shoots 5 of those individual bottle rockets, and there's an item later called a multi-bottle rocket, which shoots 20 of them, which is a lot of damage. But we just have to get through this mole cave, defeat, the ever so infamous third strongest mole. So I'm going to pass it back to you and let me know if there's anything else you'd like to bring up.
Oh my gosh, would I? Well, I see that we're just going through all the walls, and so the third strongest mole was like, no, that's too fast. I need a car to catch up. And they're working hard, and we appreciate that. We do have some wonderful donations here. We have $10 from Kefka. Suspicious. 3 statues in a triangle. Where have I seen this before? Good thing there's no carrot key in my game. We also have $10 from Etchy saying, I love EarthBound. I think we all really love some EarthBound here. And speaking of Etchy, that is actually going to be our runner for Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee. And we do have some more incentives for that coming up, along with the ones we mentioned earlier, including our Beat Green incentive. We also have some naming incentives. We have the opportunity to name the hero, with Giovanni currently in the lead with $35. We can also name the rival. In the lead right now, we have a close race there. We have My Dude at $11 and Fahukwa Gods very close behind at $10. Yes, my childhood is coming back. Also, our starter, though, Bob Ninja, $15. I have faith in all y'all to get your names in there. I mean, Fahukwa Gods, am I right?
Everybody to the limit. Everybody to the limit. Everybody come on, Fahukwa Gods. As soon as you pronounce it, I'm like, yep, another one just like me.
Yeah, you understand. Yeah, exactly. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. How else would I pronounce that?
Yeah. There is 2 more moles remaining. Let me see. So after Mole Cave, there's a lot of cleanup we have to do now. We're going to be picking up a lot of photos in quick succession coming up. The moles here. This is the 4th one. The 5th one's down at the bottom. We're going to exit mouse out. There's a photo directly outside, which I believe is our 10th photo. And remember, there's 32 total. So we're not even quite halfway. But we will start getting a ton of them in a row very, very quickly here soon, because we've gotten a lot of the story triggers we need to hit out of the way here. Occasionally, we'll need to do some more here and there, but a lot of the major ones have been done. So now there's a lot of photos that have now spawned all throughout the game and stuff, and we will be grabbing those in very quick succession. And that's the 5th mole. So you have to decide for yourself, really, who the 3rd strongest mole was out of those 5 third strongest moles.
I mean, when you think about it, maybe all 5.
I think it was the 3rd strongest mole.
Oh my God, you're right.
The 3rd one?
You're right. You're absolutely right. How did I not know that?
Yeah, I think it was definitely him.
Yeah, absolutely.
So we'll be talking after this photo. Well, first of all, Fuzzy Pickles, everybody. But we will be talking to the miner guy. That's a story trigger we have to hit to make sure that we can get the diamond. The diamond is required in order to. You have to free the Runaway 5 from their debt at the Foresight Theater, and the diamond is how you do that. So we have to talk to that guy to make sure we can get that diamond later. We will be picking up the diamond way later. But we save in this cabin, and now we're going to be going back to Happy Village because we are going to defeat the boss there, whose name is Carpainter. Normally, you fight him with just Ness. He does a lot of lightning attacks, which is the Franklin badge thankfully reflects lightning. But we have our full party with us. And Ness has a lot of levels and is way higher level So we're kind of just gonna breeze through him, and what that does is it unlocks a photo in front of the cabin where Paula is, or it unlocks the ability to free her from the cabin, which then spawns the photo. And he's manipulating this just in case. The first turn is he will always do lightning. Carpenter's actions are scripted, so he does a lightning attack, and we don't want it to hit anyone. We don't want the chance that anyone takes damage here. We want everyone to be at full HP. We don't want to have to use any psychic points because we're not really going to be getting much heals moving forward. And there's manipulation that requires us to, have very specific stats and certain things like that. So we just want to make sure there. That's why we manipulate Carpenter like that. Let me see Pokey again, our best friend, our neighbor. But he's kind of mean. He's not a nice guy.
Yeah, that was real rude.
Yeah, so we get, you did say they're two separate entities. The ghost of Paula is going to come meet the real Paula again. And despite the real Paula joining, she stays a ghost, unfortunately. But we will be freeing her from the cabin, and then getting a photo that directly in front of it, and then teleporting away to Tucson, grabbing another photo, and actually we're going to be getting some money because we need to buy those multi-bottle rockets I was talking about that shoot 20 bottle rockets, and then we're also going to buy one bottle of DX water, or it's just water deluxe. I don't know what that could possibly mean, but in the context of the game, bottles of water will restore psychic points. But it's like if Pooh drinks a bottle of water, he gets more benefit from it than if any of the other kids drink a bottle of water. I don't know why he gets so much more hydration from it, but that's just how it works, I guess. But we're actually not going to be using it for its intended purpose. We are getting this for a glitch we will use later. That I'll explain a little bit closer to when we actually start setting it up. But needless to say, we're not going to be drinking the bottle of water. We're going to be doing something much more fun with it.
I'm vaguely terrified, and I cannot wait to discover what we're doing with this. We're not biting it like an apple, right? Please tell me we're not biting it like an apple.
Not biting it like an apple.
I was going to say, it's one of those cakes, right?
Yeah. So, withdrawing money, saving again. We still have a little bit of time here, if you have anything.
I always have something. So we have a $11.10 donation from Footage Skin saying, "Rival, no, that's just my dude." That's a reminder that we do have naming incentives open for Pokemon Let's Go, a run coming up this evening. And one of the options is to name Rival. I would like to update that naming bid war as well. Back in the lead is Fahugwa Gods with $10. But my dude at 11, wouldn't take long to have my dude catch up. So depends what meme we're going for here. But you have time to do that still. So get your donations in.
So we're back in Dalam. Leaving Dalam, these photos weren't here when we initially got here. Completing Dalam is the necessary trigger in order to have these photos spawn, which is why we didn't pick them up the first time we were here. And that Hawkeye we picked up in the dark earlier is going to be used here. So fans of EarthBound are going to start hearing the Deep Darkness theme pretty soon. This is it right here, that sort of crashing Big Bang boom sound. And there's a lot of, like swampy area in this, and that makes you move slowly. Even while you're walking out of bounds, if you walk over the swampy area, it still considers you in the swamp. we've used the Hawkeye, and now we can see it's weird, like wheat-colored grass. No, psych, just kidding. It's just that the tile set hasn't been. But now we're hanging out with this bird, and we're going to get a picture with this bird because it's a beautiful bird.
See a bird, get a picture with birds. Makes sense to me.
And then from here, we'll be out of boundsing to Tenda Village. Just a brief little minute of being in the sludge, and then no problem here.
Can we sneak in a donation while we're doing that?
We can sneak in several donations.
Oh, fabulous. So we have $20 from Profness, which says, and just to be clear, this is not the point at which the game stops getting weirder. Okay, duly noted. We also have $5 from RP Priya. I love chilling to octopuscal in the morning, even though I can't understand him. And I met Daniel at Limit Break back in the day. It's great to see the two together. This category is so complex that if I stop listening for even a second, I miss so much. And honestly, same.
Yeah, there's a lot I have to explain in a short amount of time. I was worried about it.
No, you're doing great. It's as far as I'm concerned, really easy to follow. What do you say, Chad? How we doing? We're following what's going on? Totally clear as mud?
Stop making me blush.
If we're not making you blush, we're not doing it right.
You still have more time.
Oh, excellent. So that rival name incentive continues to heat up. We have $18 from Evelyn. Hi, I'm once again asking for the character to be named Stanley, all caps. You know, Stanley, your dearest friend, specifically the rival in Pokemon Let's Go. So that brings it to second place. Vahugwa God still has its lead at 20. Stanley, though, is now at 18. That is all in caps. And my dude hanging out at $11. All still incredibly close with plenty of time to completely upset this lead. So we need you to save whichever one of these names makes you happy, or a name of your own choosing. You can add your own name to any of these naming incentives. Also, you have a big friend coming with you.
Yeah, his name is Dungeon Man. He's our friend. Technically, you're supposed to have met that guy, the guy whose face we talked to. His name is Brick Road. You're supposed to have met him earlier, but we kind of skipped him in Winters. So he makes this giant thing called Dungeon Man, and now he's following us around. And now we're buying 3 multi-bottle rockets here, and that bottle of DX water I talked about. And one of the things that is also important here is that we're going to be moving the teddy bear over to Jeff at some point during this section. There's a very specific reason for this, and it has to do with, teddy bears, the way they work. They are essentially like a shield that can be, that they're like a decoy that enemies target instead of the party. Like the bears are supposed to draw the aggro of enemies and take hits for you, but they have a certain amount of HP, and then eventually the teddy bear will break, and then the teddy bear turns into a pile of fluff and is no longer able to take any more hits for you. That's the idea. But what happens is that when the game, if the teddy bear goes away, it rearranges the items in your inventory, and depending on the item slot it was in, it kind of moves stuff around, and this can have funky side effects. You can duplicate items this way. One of a very well-known trick in EarthBound is that if you have condiments, you can put the condiment at the bottom of the inventory, and then the food, and then all the food above it, and then if you can duplicate the food as you eat it over and over again, because it keeps rearranging everything, all the item slots. We're not going to be duplicating any items, but we are going to be using it in a different way, because one of the things you can do in battle as well is you can change your equipment. So if you have a certain piece of equipment on mid-battle, you can equip it if you want, or you can change, or you can unequip it even. And that's going to be very, very important with this teddy bear. because we're going to be doing a piece of manipulation where this teddy bear takes mortal damage, rearranges the slots in Jeff's inventory, and Jeff is going to try to equip something, but it's going to move the items around when the teddy bear goes, and he's not going to equip the right thing. We're still a little bit away from that, so I'll point it out when it happens. Right now, we have to get the pencil eraser. This is something we should have done a long time ago, according to the story. This is like the first thing you do when you get into Tucson in the game, but we have to do it now because there's a photo up above the iron pencil statue that Octo is about to load into memory, and to go and erase. He's not going to erase it just quite yet. He's just going to load it into memory here, and then he's going to teleport away and pick up. He's going to teleport back to Tucson because it's just faster than walking back to Tucson. But another important aspect is that it also doesn't trigger the exit mouse flag on the door back. So the exit mouse flag is currently set to the exit here in PRV, the cave that he just walked out of. I misspoke. I thought he was teleporting back. No, he's walking back. It's fine.
It's still leg day.
Oh, it's right. It's because you need this phone call first. He teleports. You should teleport here. I think it's still faster if you teleport here. That is. The phone call has to happen first. I'm supposed to be a good Earthbound runner. I forgot one of the most basic parts of the story trigger is that phone call is necessary. The exit mouse part is still technically true. That flag hasn't been changed. We will be heading back into that cave if we use an exit mouse again, because we will not be entering any other dungeon type areas. But we get the pencil eraser, and then now we are going to Fourside, and we are about to do this piece of manipulation that I'm talking about. So he's going to save in the Fourside Hotel, and we're about to go fight one of the most dangerous enemies in the game, known as Starman Deluxe. For people who play this game casually, Starman Base is notorious. It's very, very full of very, very difficult enemies, and Starman Deluxe is no exception. Thankfully, we have multi-bottle rockets, which do a lot of damage. It's not going to do enough to one-shot the Starman Deluxe, but we also kind of don't want to do that because we need to spend a turn changing the equipment of Jeff. He's going to try and equip the Holmes hat to himself mid-battle. And what's going to happen is before that happens, like he's going to queue up the action before it actually takes place, which only takes place when he takes his turn. Starman Deluxe is going to kill the teddy bear. Teddy bear will no longer be the teddy bear will be removed and then shuffle the items in his inventory to accommodate for the fact that now he has less items. And so the slot that the Holmes hat was originally in is now going to be occupied by the bottle of DX water. And so Jeff is going to equip the bottle of deluxe water onto himself instead of the Holmes hat. And you might be thinking, why? Other than this is just like a very weird thing to do and like fun and like why? But the weird thing is that item gives you stats. It for some reason gives Jeff 40 extra speed on top of whatever he has. So equipping the bottle of DX water is actually one of the most powerful pieces of equipment you can put on.
Note to self, keep drinking water, makes you fast.
So we hit him here with an MBR. It doesn't do enough damage. Starman Deluxe has 1400 HP. And now you see the Holmes hat here. Starstorm is gonna hit everyone. It's gonna, like I said, Ness wants to hog the experience. Teddy bear is gone, and the Holmes hat. It said the Holmes hat was equipped, but that's not going to be the case. So what's actually equipped now is the bottle of DX water. And that gives Jeff an extra 40 speed, which is especially important because the calculation for bottle rockets hitting is made, like the miss chance is lowered the higher Jeff's speed is. So this bottle of DX water actually ends up saving us a lot of time. It means we don't have to pick up an item called the Rabbit's Foot, which does the same thing. It gives us 40 speed, but it requires us to go out of our way to pick it up. And it, that's slow. So why not just equip a bottle of water instead? Yeah, look right there. He's showing it off. Bottle of DX water.
The logic is sound.
And you can see that he has, yeah. So this was found because of something that happened in one of the randomizers. That this happened where someone had change their equipment on the fly randomly in a randomizer, and then noticed that they were wearing just like some random item. And then we investigated more and found out that, yeah, you could do this with every item in the game, and they all give you different stats. And most of them are pretty useless, but bottled DX water, 40 speed, so not useless.
Excuse me while I go get some duct tape. Got a few bottles of water here.
Yeah. Just like wear it like just patch them together like armor.
If one gives you 40 speed, then a whole bundle,
yeah,
the options are limitless.
Oh, we could Sonic fast. Oh, I see.
Oh yeah, Sonic's got nothing on us.
Yes. So we're going to be teleporting to Onett here. We're going to be saving in the hotel. We're going to be grabbing a couple more photos. So this is a good time, just to continue with anything else you have.
Oh,
just some photo cleanup here.
Fabulous. So, what we're going to talk about while we're getting those photos is the wonderful charity we're supporting. So we're here supporting NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They're the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization, whose work is focused around three main pillars: education and support, awareness, and advocacy. What does that mean? Well, awareness. NAMI drives the national conversation around mental health from coast to coast and across all demographics, having appeared in major media more than any other mental health organization since 2021, with over 24,000 earned media articles in top-tier outlets, including NPR, CBS News, CNN, and the BBC. Want to update you on some of those upcoming incentives for our very next run, which is Phantasy Star Online, Episode 1 and 2. We do have a naming incentive to name the hero. In the lead with $500 is currently Dexter, and following up behind, but maybe not too behind, is some dude at $151. Also, one thing we really want to work on, because we've only got until partway through the Pokemon Let's Go run to meet this, is we have a donation incentive to beat Green. That is one of the trainers from who was one of the ones we dealt with in the original version of like Red and Blue. Shows up in Pokemon Let's Go, and we have an opportunity to not only fight, but beat this trainer. We are currently at $1,080 out of a needed $3,000. Now, I know we can definitely, with the help of NASCAR and our wonderful racing friends, help get this. So please get your donations in.
So Octo has gone to Winters here. You might think that we're going to do Tessie, which is like the sort of Loch Ness monster adjacent that lives in this lake, and they're so cute, and I love them, and they have the happiest smile of all time. Unfortunately, we will not be seeing him this run. What instead we will be seeing. So earlier we used skip sandwiches to get through these cliffs, but right now what we're going to use, we're going to use teleport alpha, and you could see that as you are doing a teleport, you are picking up in speed, and one of the things you can do is you can clip yourself through this wall. Octo is looking for a very specific pixel lineup. This is it right here. So now he's just going to walk through. And so that's the other way of getting through this. This one we've known about for far longer, but it requires teleport, which when you're solo Jeff, you don't have access to. The reason we're doing this again is because there's a photo in this dungeon that we passed by earlier, this Brick Road dungeon, who we saw him in his big dungeon man form. This is the first time you're supposed to meet him. And then this is just a regular cliff skip you can do. Octo is looking for a very specific pixel lineup. It's kind of tougher when you have the full party because they block your view a little bit. So yeah, you can see he's adjusting, and now he makes his way through. He's going to enter, exit, and re-enter. The reason for that is because there's scripted enemies that are spawned in there, but they all go away once you exit Brick Road. So he has to enter it, exit it, and then re-enter it. And then he has to read this sign, which says, watch out for falling materials, I believe. And the falling materials is the photo man. So we have a little bit of time. We got 2 more photos we have to pick up before our next fight. So we still have a little bit more time.
Oh, excellent. Well, I will take advantage of that time. We have $25 from Wah saying, great to see EarthBound here in Limit Break. As always, shout out to Daniel for explaining this game's wonky mechanics. Donation incentive goes to Octo's Choice, and good luck in the run. We also have $10 from Anonymous. My family and I have been enjoying watching every night while eating dinner on the couch. The kids look forward to it all day. We call it RPG Dinner Break.
So Brick Road, right next to Scaraba, which is the desert area. There's a photo here we gotta grab. And there's also a photo down below by the pyramid we have to grab. If you've lost count, this is photo number 21 out of 32.
I had lost count, thank you. So I have a question about the photos. So we're running around getting all these photos with our lovely ghost friends. How does one take a picture of ghosts?
I mean, that guy has it figured out, because what's going to happen is that during the credits, it's going to it's going to show every single photo that you've gotten. And the game does check to see, like, it checks to see if like during the photo, those kids were alive, or even there for that matter, and like replace it and like adjusts it as necessary. So he figured it out because they show up in the photos.
This person could have so much money, and maybe they do if they sold this trick.
So this is Master Belch. Normally, for people who are very familiar with EarthBound, you have to pick up a key item called the Jar of Fly Honey and give it to him in order to even deal damage to him. If we were to try and hit him with our bat, he would take 0 damage. Like, it would say it dealt damage, but it would reset his health back to full. What we just did is casted a spell called PSI Flash Beta, which has a chance to instant kill the enemy. And Octo manipulated it so that it instant killed Belch right there. And that's one of the ways you can defeat Belch without the Jar of Fly Honey. Another way you can do it is if you have like a bag of snakes, you can poison him. He takes poison damage and his health will tick down slowly. You just have to somehow survive. But otherwise you would need that key item. But the reason we have to defeat Belch is because he's the trigger for this photo right here.
I'm sorry, did you just say a bag of snakes?
Yeah, one of the items is a bag of snakes. There's also an item that's just a viper, like one single viper. But yeah, there's an item called a bag of snakes. What, you don't like a bag of snakes?
Well, of course, that's pretty cool. But RPG Limit Break does not condone the gathering of snakes and putting them in a bag. So please be careful. Just because Ness does it just doesn't mean you should.
Do not as Ness does.
But it does sound really cool.
It does sound cool, right? Yeah. So, we're going to take a little detour from photos for a short moment here. And we're going to out of bounds to one of the end game areas called Magicant. This is an area that normally, once you defeat all 8 sanctuary bosses and collect all the melodies from each of the locations, Ness enters this sort of dream realm known as Magicant, and he's there by himself when you're playing the game normally. He's in his pajamas. It's like a sort of dream mindscape of his. And we are going to be out of bouncing here. We are manipulating this, by the way, because we are going to defeat the boss there, which at the end of this section during an area called the Sea of Eden, there is a boss called Ness's Nightmare, which is normally a very, very difficult boss. But with manipulation, and thankfully also with the extra experience we have, he is not going to be a problem. Also, fans of EarthBound know that the Sea of Eden has 3 Krakens in it. These are bosses that are pre-placed there. Even though spawns are off right now, they are going to always be there. So we manipulate where they spawn so that we can walk by them without getting into the fight. Because even though we could probably beat them, that would ruin the manipulation. So he's opening and closing the menu here in order to make sure that this Kraken spawns down there so he can swing by. And then he's going to be doing something similar here with the second and third Kraken. Make sure that guy is out of his way, and then he wants to aggro this guy and then get him stuck like that. And then the same way that we dealt with Belch, we're going to deal with Ness's Nightmare. Normally we have to do something far more complex, but because we have a little bit of experience, we can actually just do this and instant kill him. And now Ness is going to get an incredible amount of experience. Like, just an absolute absurd amount of experience. Way too much experience. They give him a ton of free stats, and it's all for Ness. He just takes, so it's he's one big beefy boy right now.
Ness doesn't need a bag of snakes. He's got a bag of levels.
Yeah, exactly. And then we're going to be hitting some story triggers. We're going to be talking to... this sends us back to Saturn Valley automatically. It's going to... well, this is an epilepsy warning coming up also as well for flashing images. There's going to be a moment where Ness starts spinning around. It is a flashing images warning for sure. I do want to make that clear, so just throwing that out there now. But it's going to send us back to Saturn Valley, and then there's some story triggers we have to hit in order to continue on with our photo hunt. But first, once these levels finish, then the flashing lights warning that's when the flashing lights will happen, and you'll see what I mean, unfortunately.
Oh, this isn't it. Oh, good. Okay. Yeah, so everyone, you heard the warning. If you have any issues with flashing lights, be warned. We'll let you know when it's done.
Okay, we are safe now.
From the flashing lights. From the rest of the run, no promises.
No promises, absolutely not. So it sends us to Lilliput Steps. I don't know why it sends us to Lilliput Steps. This is the second sanctuary location of the game, but that's where it sends us. And then it just automatically teleports us. That's like Octo isn't doing anything there. That's just an automatic teleport, and it sends us to Saturn Valley. So there's some storage triggers we have to hit here, and then also he's gonna walk all the way to the bottom of Saturn Valley into the cave, and then out of the cave. This is just to get the teleport location. But with that, we do have a bit of time here. If you have anything else.
That is music to my ears. We have $3 from Wind Bliss. The magic cake part of EarthBound still confounds me today, as it has when I first played it as a kid. But now that I think about it, you could call it a RPG liminal bake. We also have $25 from Valak. This makes for a relaxing Friday night in to kick off the holiday weekend. And what a good cause to support. I took serious control of my mental health over the past year, and mental health professionals helped me get where I am. Thank you, and have fun. Now, let me remind you of some of the upcoming donations we have, or the incentives, I should say. One of them is we have Pokemon Let's Go, which is up after Phantasy Star Online. And we have the option to pick the game version. So currently in the lead is Eevee version at $136, and Pikachu is only at $22. However, we have until the end of EarthBound and the 2 hours and 20 minutes of Phantasy Star Online to potentially fix that. So if you're a little more of a Pika than you are an Eevee, then you have a chance to fix that.
So the next two photos here are going to be in Threed, which after defeating Belch does not become a spooky place. It becomes a happy place.
We love happy places. So do we still have a little bit more time here?
Absolutely.
Oh, fabulous. Because I want to show some love for some of our community artists. LLK, who designed the RPG Limit Break logo, and Mega Weasel and It's Casa, who are responsible for designing several of the emotes which you can access by subscribing to the RPG Limit Break channel. All revenue from subscriptions, bits, and the ads we run contribute to funding our annual marathons, and your support in this regard is critical to helping us put on these wonderful events year after year. And to help us with that, RPG Limit Break is excited to announce that we have launched our own merchandise store. From hoodies to coffee mugs and even fanny packs, you're sure to find your new favorite RPG Limit Break branded gear. And the best part is, all proceeds from those particular merchandise sales go directly to funding RPG Limit Break, so we can continue to bring you these awesome live events every year. To visit our online store, please visit www.store.rpglimitbreak.com.
So this is the spot of the run where one of the incentives gets to get shown here. So the player name incentive was something that people got to donate and vote for via donations. We have this photo, and then we're going to get a phone call asking to confirm our player name. And so I believe Octo already has the information to input what the winner was. So I'll give it a little bit of suspense. But yeah, here he goes. Yep, it's Jay. Yep, it's gonna be Jeff. Just as many Jeffs as you can fit.
Mm-hmm. Which is still quite a lot of Jeffs.
It's so many Jeffs.
How many Jeffs could you fit in a bag of snakes?
Well, I mean, it really depends on the bag.
That is
more
true.
So than, maybe it also sort of depends on the snakes too. There's a lot of factors. We may have to do some science on that.
We love science here at RPG Limit Break.
So this is going to be a save we do. We're going to grab the meteorite up at the top of Onett. That was part of the story triggers we hit. This is something that happens way late in the game, like right at the very end. And we're going to be giving that meteorite to Dr. Andonuts. And fans of EarthBound and EarthBound speedruns might notice, hey, we've only gotten 26 out of the 32 photos. Why are you doing all this stuff to go to the final boss right now? The answer is because we're going to go fight the final boss right now. But there's still more run. The run doesn't end at the final boss. Normally, runs end when Paula gets the last prayer off to defeat Gygus. That's for most categories. But since photo percent, the only way to verify that you got all 32 photos is to watch the credits. We use JRTA timing for photo percent. So there's actually a little bit of post-game stuff that the game allows you to do that in other categories we don't do. But in this category, since it uses JRTA timing, we are going to do. So right now, 26 out of the 32 photos, we're going to go fight Gygus, the final boss of the game. And if you've been keeping up with the other fights, this is going to be a manipulated fight as well. And you know, Jeff equipping the bottle of DX water to him, this was in preparation for the Gygus fight. This is because the first phase of Gygus has two enemies, Gygus and battle armored Pokey. Both of them have pretty high speed. Gygus has 80 speed and Pokey has 60 speed. The calculation for the chance to miss on bottle rockets is 2 times the enemy speed minus Jeff's speed. So it'd be 120 minus whatever Jeff's speed. And when you don't have a thing boosting your speed by 40, that usually means you have a pretty high chance to miss. But because we are well hydrated with our bottle of water equipped onto us, we will be fast enough to do actual decent damage to battle armored Pokey with these multi-bottle rockets. There is a flashing lights warning coming up ahead as well. I do want to point out. It'll be like a drilling sign. It's basically it's probably best for just flashing light warning now to look away, in my opinion, and then we'll let you know when you can look back. But I would.
Yeah, you're the expert, so if you say look away, we're doing it.
Yeah. But if you can still hear it, what's happening is that we need to go to the past. And Dr. Andonuts has invented a machine that does that, but he has to turn us into robots first. So he's taking our soul and brain and putting them into robots, which is... That's EarthBound. EarthBound's a very interesting game. There's a butterfly there. Sorry, that very rarely happens. Just a butterfly hanging out there. That's still flashing light warning. Please do not look. But I'm sorry.
But you'll just have to trust us. There is a butterfly there.
There is a butterfly. The game has magic butterflies that restore psyche. Okay, flashing lights warning is now over. Where we are good. And so Octo's going to make a save here. He's going to reset. He's going to out of bounds to Gygus. One of the reasons, actually, is because that butterfly being there, the reason it's there is because spawns are turned back on right. So going through Cave of the Past, like normally, we could do it. And in some categories, we do it to get the one of the best bats in the game for an equipment for Ness, but instead Octo is going to be just walking out of bounds straight to Gygas's lair. Yeah, and so he's doing inputs here. This is manipulated. He is doing this to make sure enemies aren't spawning on screen. The enemies in Cave of the Past, they're all these diamond-looking enemies that swing wildly, and when they swing wildly, they also update RNG very quickly, and it's extremely annoying to route out. So the fact that he was able to find a route that can do this pretty consistently is really impressive. But one of the marathon strats that we had to adjust for, just to allow for the donation incentives of the 4 kid names, we had to modify the Gygas manip a little bit. Normally in a PB attempt, you would name Jeff and Pooh the same thing. And that would allow, after we're done with phase 1, Jeff doesn't need that bottle of water equipped to him anymore. So we could use it on Pooh to get some psychic points back, which he can use to cast a very powerful spell that does a lot of damage. Now, we don't have that option here, so Octo has rerouted it to allow for just the one use of the spell that we get to do. So this multi-bottle rocket's going to do 1128. Pokey has 2000 HP. And then we're queuing up a PSI. It just said Omega. Normally the spell that goes there is Starstorm, but you get that from the Star Master after completing Pyramid. But since we did this game all wacky and out of order, we never got that spell. So when he gave us the final version of the spell, the game doesn't have a name for it. So he just casts PSI Omega. But this is probably the most powerful spell in the game. It costs the most psychic points, but it'd be doing a lot of damage. And then now we're going to manipulate. We picked up the Magicant bat in Magicant, and now we're going to be manipulating crits, or smashes as they're called in EarthBound, to get through this second phase. This second phase also has 2000 HP, and it's required that we get through this phase in order to get to this third and final phase of Gygas, where now Paula has to stay alive and complete 9 prayers. Now, you might notice Paula is level 1 with 1 HP right now. And Gygas is the final boss of the game. So we are going to manip it so that Gygas is going to be either doing turns that are empty, because he has a chance to have just an empty turn where he just says stuff and doesn't do anything, or he is going to cast spells. In this case, it's to our advantage because that spell, it KO'd 3 out of 4 of our party, but it left Paulo alive, who is all we need. So now the menuing to pray is as fast as it can possibly be. He doesn't have to do extra menuing. It's manipulating Gygas is very, very difficult in this category. I don't know if you can see him, but there's a Mr. Saturn on the right side of the screen who pops out sometimes. He popped out once already, but he might not pop out again. But he's here now. He's randomly moving. He's updating RNG during all of this. And if you don't mash your text fast enough, he might just put you on a different RNG path. So it's very important that Octo mash as quickly as possible through these. Through certain prayers, because some NPCs are on screen actively shuffling the RNG, and the more NPCs on screen that are doing that, the harder it is to manage and deal with. It matters what frame you advance the text on. In some cases, for some categories, it's if you don't get a frame perfect text mash, you have to do a different route of the manipulation. So Octo has prepared it for the marathon, so it doesn't have to be quite as precise. He'll probably do a lot of extra inputs in cases, as opposed to taking a risk and assuming that he might be on a different RNG manip. So he's routed it out to account for this randomness and try and find the most consistent way to do it. So that was the second prayer. This is the third out of 9 prayers. So we're going to be going through these prayers. Gygus is going to be doing turns after the 6th prayer. After the 7th prayer. There is no bitrate that can contain Gygus's wrath. So get ready for that. That's going to be fun. There's just a lot of vastly different colored pixels on the screen that make it very difficult for a lot of streams to really show it super properly. So just don't be surprised if weirdly the bitrate, weirdly the game starts looking a little fuzzy. That's EarthBound. There's nothing. I haven't seen a clean feed of the Gygus, the end of Gygus, on a stream ever in my almost 10 years of running this game.
But does it get fuzzy pickles?
So, fun fact, beating Gygus is actually a photo.
That's neat.
That's why
also
we're beating
dangerous.
Gygus right. Yeah, so defeating Gygus is how you get one of the photos. So we were at photo 26. When we defeat Gygus here, that's actually photo number 27. So I mean, a little bit like the fuzzy pickles really kind of getting involved.
I think it counts.
But through these prayers, you have a little bit of time. If you've got anything else.
You beat me to it. I absolutely do. We have $100 from May Manta Ray. Sometimes I tuck my knees to my chest and lean forward, because that's how I roll. We have $10 from Edward Malice. EarthBound was one of the games that first got me into speedrunning. This run is just what I needed after a stressful week. Good luck to all the runners. We also have $2 from Keishura. Ohayo! I wanted to give a personal shout out to our language restreams. I love watching events via the Japanese restream because it helps keep my Japanese ability up. And I'm really enjoying Shellsan's commentary. Arigato, Japanese restream. Heart! And that is a good chance to remind you that we do have 2 different alternate language restreams. We have our French restream, which can be found at twitch.tv/Le French Restream, and our Japanese restream at twitch.tv/Japanese_restream. So if those restreams can help you better enjoy the marathon, please go check them out and send them some love. They have their own sets of volunteers, which are helping out. So just pop in and say hi.
Yeah, thank you so much to Shell from the Japanese community. The Japanese community really worked hard together on Photo Percent in particular. They really this route is the product of a lot of hard work and collaboration between all of them, and I think it's an incredible route, an incredible run, and I'm constantly impressed and delighted to be a part of the same community as them. So that's prayer number 8. This is the last prayer. Normally, this is where we would, normally in most speedruns, this is where time would end. But we still have, 5 more photos to go after this, because we just defeated Gygus. Which means we now need to mash through a lot of text, because, this is supposed to be the end of the game. But we need a couple other photos.
Yeah, that's fair.
If you have any more.
Oh, I've always got something to say. Gygus just has a lot to say, and you know what? So do we all at times. Let's get an update on some of those donation incentives that are coming up. So a reminder that our next run is Phantasy Star Online, Episode 1 and 2. We have a bid war to name the hero. In the lead currently is Dexter with $500. In second place is some dude, $151. So still possibility to get some dude back up there. It's up to everyone, but we need to do that before the end of the run if we're at the end of the Earthbound run, if we are going to do that. Another incentive, which is something we really want to do, Pokemon Let's Go. Either Pikachu or Eevee versions, we want to attempt to beat green, but we need your donations to do it. We currently have $1,092 out of a needed $3,000. Now we do have a little bit of leeway on this one because we have until the end of Earthbound, as well as through the 2 hours of Phantasy Star Online, but that's still got about $2,000 left, so we really need your help there. I'm sending my prayers to you, Twitch chat. Help us with this.
Still got a lot more time, by the way.
I love time. I'm here for time. So much time. We also, let's continue to shout out our artists like we were talking about earlier. It's not just the tech in the background which is going to help with these events. These layouts, these images, they all require artists to help us with that. And some of the folks who have helped us with that, we have our overlays were specifically worked on by Oro, who can be found at Twitter at Ourolen, spelled Ourolen. We also are incredibly grateful to LLK, who is a longtime contributor to GDQ marathons and the designer of our promo banners, attendee badges, and emotes. You can check her out at jezaboo.com. Now that's spelled JAZAABOO.com. And did you know that roughly 1 out of 5 Americans live with a mental health condition? We at RPG Limit Break are proud to be raising money for the National Alliance on Mental Illness, a charity that works tirelessly towards cracking the code of mental illness through various means such as education, leadership, and increasing the availability of care. Please join RPG Limit Break in supporting this incredibly worthy cause. Now, all of your donations that come in, those are going to be going to NAMI, and they're going to be helping so much with their cause. However, if you want to continue to help us, RPG Limit Break, in order to have the funds we need to put off these events, then you can help support us with your bits, your subscriptions, and by also checking out our new store, our merch store, which can be found at www.store.rpglimitbreak.com. Now, we are looking for more information on when and if that store closes, but I would like to remind you for the Yeti, who we are so proud to partner with this year again. They have designed 3 exclusive t-shirts and an enamel pin for this year's event. And if you would like to see these awesome designs, please visit theyeti.com/RPGLB. And the Yeti is spelled THEYETEE. Remember, these items from the Yeti specifically will only be available for the duration of the marathon. So get yours before it's too late. And for those who are maybe new to checking things out, we are going until the end of tomorrow, which is Saturday. Our final run will be Final Fantasy IV. So make sure to stick with us from now until then. Get some cool runs in. And again, any donations that you can send in not only help NAMI, but help us meet those donation incentives. But it's not just donation incentives you can help with. Modifying the games that we're playing, that's definitely super cool. But you know what else you can get? That's right. It's prizes. We have some really cool prizes from now until the Pokemon Let's Go run that we keep talking about. We have 2 separate Pokemon plushes. We have a Pikachu 24-inch plush, which was generously donated by Rizliu. That is a minimum donation of $10. We also have a Gengar plush, same size, 24 inches, donated by Ashen Prime. Again, $10 minimum donation. And you know what else $10 will get you in for? That's right, it's a Pokemon mini backpack donated by Ashen Prime. Those are all amazing, really good Pokemon goods. But we also have some mermaid pendants, not specifically from Pokemon. These are from Stardew Valley. They are donated generously by Heroic Replicas. Minimum donation for those are $15. And let me tell you, I have looked at these mermaid pendants. They are amazing. The creators have gone and gotten individual shells, like real shells, and have painted them over. So each one is one of a kind. They're absolutely gorgeous, look amazing. Definitely want to get donations in for those.
So we're picking up photo number 29 right now. Remember how I said we had to give that diamond to the theater lady? Yeah, we're getting that diamond right now. You get the diamond given to you on this bridge. You know, some story triggers can be hit out of order. Doesn't care that it's the end of the game. So he's going to give you a diamond. And then we're going to go back to Fourside. We're going to give the diamond to the lady who runs the theater. And then we are going to get a couple more photos. There's a Fourside Museum photo we have to get. And there's also the department store in Fourside we have to get. But people who've played this game know the department store is currently closed right now. And the way to open it is to free the Runaway Five from their contract at the theater. So that's why we have to get this diamond and give it to this lady here, and it will free the Runaway Five from their debt, from the phony, like the scam contract that they signed that didn't read thoroughly enough. And I think I can't remember if we have to watch. I think we have to watch the show. So we might get a Runaway Five performance here for some Runaway Five fans.
I mean, who isn't a Runaway Five fan?
I mean, I'm a huge fan.
I mean, come on, of course we are. And if we are doing that, that's more time for donations as well.
Yeah, it depends if he goes up here or not. Yep. Okay, so we have a Runaway Five show. So enjoy the Runaway Five. I mean 6, I mean 5, and take it away.
Fabulous. So we have a $50 donation from Maria. Thank you so much. We also have a $5 donation from Anonymous, which says, Fuzzy Pickles. We have $50 from Aeon Frodo, which says, hey, so even though I didn't say this on stream, I wanted to donate if I got the hardest strat in the Future Redeemed run without resorting to backups I had. Thanks again for having me, and good luck to the rest of the runners. And for those who missed it, Aeon Frodo was our runner for our previous run. That was for the Xenoblade Chronicles 3 run. So we do have VODs up on both Twitch and YouTube of all of our events and all of our runs. So definitely, if you've missed any, make sure to check those out. We also have $75 from Naz T. Men. Thank you so much. What I will also say is that's helped, a lot of those went towards that Beat Green donation for the upcoming Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee run. So we're now at $1,157 out of 3,000. That is already amazing progress. We need all of your help. We need to work together. We can get these donations and we can beat Green. Probably easier than we beat Gygus, but the principle stands, I'm sure.
Well, we manipulated Gygus, so I mean,
that's also true.
It's easy for, I guess, us because we learned it.
True. I feel like, Green is also not quite as threatening as Gygus, but that's maybe just my
Yes.
opinion. I'm not sure if the trainers in Pokemon agree.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's probably a close call between Green and the like formless entity that guy is.
I mean, they're the same
so-
thing.
Yeah, so Forsyth Department Store is normally where a section of the game where Paula gets kidnapped by one of the aliens who works for Gygas. And that's going to happen here. Even though Gygas is defeated, this guy didn't get the memo. And he's going to kidnap Paula, and he's going to say, "Come to the top. Or Paula is Kitons," or whatever. And because that's how aliens talk. And so it's the end of the game. Spawns aren't turned on. So normally there would be spawns here, but we're just going to go up the escalator and fight the boss at the top. This boss is meant for way earlier in the game, so it's really not going to be a problem. Octo is going to auto fight, and the worst thing that can happen to him is that the boss freezes him and then solidifies him, which like wastes his turn because it like freezes him for a turn, and he has to like take the turn to get out of that situation. So here he is, the boss of the Forsyth Department Store. I wrote in my notes, parentheses, he stinks.
I think you're the problem in this scenario, or we as Ness are the problem in this scenario.
Yeah, so we got him. That was a hard battle. And the reason we have to defeat him is because defeating him is what triggers the photo to spawn here at the top of the Forsyth Departments.
Also,
I just think it's really...
Go ahead.
I just like it's funny that we do it at the end of the game. Like he's still working for Gygas, but
yeah, I was like, who's gonna tell them? Who's gonna tell them what happened to Gygas? Because it ain't gonna be us.
Yeah, well, we don't have to anymore. We got rid of him, I guess. And then now finally we are going to leave the department store, teleport back to Onett, and get the final photo of the run, which is right in front of Nessa's house. You notice we walked right by it in Onett. We could have gotten it then, but it feels more appropriate to it's faster, and also in my opinion feels more appropriate to get it at the end of the run as the last photo as you're returning home from your journey of walking through walls and equipping bottles of water and lowering people's defense by 4,095. The photo just feels like a nice cap on top of, just to really squeeze it all together and make a nice presentation of a run, in my opinion, just to finish it off here with us returning home, finally ready to let the credits roll. And because this is JRTA timing is still going to keep going until the very, very end of the game. Also, the game still thinks you have Paula, so Paula text showed up there. And the time will be, there will be something that says "the end?" ? And then that is when the official time will go. So we have the full credits to watch, and during that time, it's going to show us all of our photos. But during that time, there's nothing else to really talk about as far as EarthBound is concerned. So feel free to take it away, and I'll also speak on some stuff here and there just for fun. But it's really, we just got to watch these credits. Enjoy.
Well, we love that. Well, a preemptive GG to both you and Octo on an amazing run. It was so well done. But we do have some donations we can read. We have $250 from Polanteris. Thank you so much for that. We have $5 from Edward Malice. It makes me so happy that we get to see the Runaway 5 in this category. We have $20 from Leggy Starscream. I don't know if Green is more threatening than Gygas, but she's definitely cuter. Donation goes to naming the starter after the Pokemon that should have been the star of the show, Clefairy. Nintendo, you're missing out here. There is yet another version you could have. You know how all the originals, you got red, blue, and then you got another one? We can do that still with Let's Go. It's not too late. Okay, let's get an update on some of these donation incentives. We haven't talked about our rival in a while. For Pokemon Let's Go, in the lead still is Fahugwa Gods, having a slightly more commanding lead now at $45. Stanley's still working and holding on at $18. My Dude trying to make a comeback at $16. That starter is now, we have a tie. It's $20 for Bob Ninja and $20 for Clefairy. Another bid war that an incentive we have for Pokemon Let's Go that we haven't mentioned is we have some cosplay options. And by options, I mean one option, but I think it's a good one. We have the opportunity to wear the Team Rocket outfit. We currently have $100 and we need $1,000. So maybe we can beat green while being Team Rocket? Feels a little appropriate, right? I love all our friends dancing here.
Yeah, this is everyone we met definitely totally throughout the game. We've definitely met all of these characters, and there isn't a single one we skipped. And we got to fully experience the full range of characters that show up in EarthBound, which is, you know, as far as photo percent is concerned, it's like the one downside to it is like you lose a little bit of like getting to see all of the really neat and interesting characters. You still see a lot of them. I mean, you still see Dungeon Man. That guy rules.
I was gonna say Dungeon Man looks amazing. Definitely one of my faves.
He's fantastic, and I love him. In the speedrun, it's one of the worst sections of the game. It is such an RNG fest in the glitchless category.
Is it specifically because he's there with you, or?
That's one of the reasons. Yeah.
Okay.
So because normally you can use teleport to skip by enemies in you open the menu and you teleport, enemies don't move while you're teleporting. You can teleport past them and then just make sure you crash into the wall instead of actually teleporting away. But you can't do that with Dungeon Man in your party, and he's humongous. So he triggers fights just like anybody else.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, and there's a lot of like UFOs and stuff who like swing erratically back and forth. Like it's just so it's basically just like this section where you gotta really hope you get some good luck and don't get a lot of spawns. But hey, here's our favorite photo man, and he's got a photo to take of us. So make sure you're saying Fuzzy Pickles and giving a peace sign, everybody.
Fuzzy Pickles. Gotta get our picture in there.
And now it will show the credits and present to us every single photo we received in the game, all 32 of them.
Nice. So while we're taking a look at all of those and our amazing ghost friends and ghost picture taking technology, let's talk a little more about our amazing charity NAMI. We understand that the last few years have been a very stressful time for many people across the world, and this has put a huge strain on many people's mental health. In the United States alone, 21% of adults reported suffering some kind of mental illness. That's roughly 52.9 million people. Please remember to reach out for help if you feel like you need it. You are not alone. One of the places you can reach out for help is the NAMI Helpline, which is a free US-based nationwide peer support service providing information, resource referrals, and support to people living with mental health conditions, their family members, caregivers, and mental health providers. The NAMI Helpline is available Monday through Friday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Time via phone call, text, and live web chat. To reach the NAMI Helpline, please call 1-800-950-6264 or visit nami.org/help to access all NAMI Helpline resources and contact information. In an effort to support the mission statement of NAMI, we would like to encourage our viewers in chat and our donors to avoid using mental health-related pejoratives when describing situations that are extraordinary. These include terms like crazy, insane, mental, nuts, bonkers, etc. We ask you to be mindful of the specific language you use, as many people do not realize these are pejoratives. Instead, consider substituting them with words such as amazing, ridiculous, wild, bananas, though bananas are still illegal, but we'll allow it. We greatly appreciate your cooperation in this and hope you can carry this forward in your everyday lives. Everyone, we're slowly making progress on that Beat Green incentive for Pokemon Let's Go, Pokemon. I'm making new Pokemon up here live for all of you. Pikachu/Eevee. So we're currently at $1,187 out of a needed $3,000. But something else that you can donate towards is choosing that game version. So if you're not aware, Pokemon Let's Go has two versions, a Pikachu version and an Eevee version. Eevee is currently quite in the lead with $136, but it's not too late to get your donations in for Pikachu, which is currently at $22. That will close at either the end of the next run or at the very beginning of that Pikachu Let's Go run. So that gives us about a little over 2 hours to get that met. So, while supporting our wonderful runners for the upcoming Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2 run, why not think about putting some of those donations towards naming the hero, beating green, choosing that game version, and other such donation incentives. Those will also enter you in for prizes, of which we have multiple. Some of my favorites are the multiple plushes we have. I don't know about you, but I love plushes, especially Pokemon plushes. And we have a selection for you. We have a Pikachu plush, 24 inches, which is going for a minimum donation of $10, generously donated by Rizliu. We also have a Gengar plush, also 24 inches, donated by Ashen Prime. Minimum donation, $10. But that also ties into our one of our mini grand prizes. This is for the second half of the week. We have our amazing friend Whale Lord in a ginormous plush. Now, I'm not very tall myself at under 5'1", and this plush, when stood up, is almost as tall as I am. They are a ginormous friend, and I want to hug them. That was donated by Heroic Spirit Gamer, and to get entered into that for the rest of the event, you need a cumulative donation of $75. So you don't have to donate $75 all at once. You can do, from now until the end, multiple different donations. And as long as they come to a total of $75, you're entered in for that giant, and I really do mean giant, Whale Lord plush that you can hug.
So we are approaching time here. The game is telling us this is the player name. And eventually this will, this is going to fade out. And we're going to hear some knocking. But that was the credits there. And there's a little post-credit sequence here for us. And so time is coming soon. So be prepared. But it's going to be the end question mark will appear on screen. And when the question mark pops in, that is the exact moment of time. I'll try my best to call it. Octo may also try and call it as well. But we got a knock at the door. It's Pokey's brother. He's saying Pokey's being a real big jerk. Then it kind of does just a little fade out. And time. Let's give it up for Octo. Thank you so much, Octo.
Thank you for watching. I was very fun. Thank you for watching.
It was a great run, Octo. I think you did great. Very fun and very cool. And thank you so much.
Thank you, commentate.
Not a problem. Thank you, for being here with me, host. And I'll let you take it away. Thanks for watching our Earthbound run, everybody.
Well, thank you so much to you, Daniel, and to Octo. You both did amazing. And let's give another round of applause for just an amazing, amazing run and all those photos. Well, everyone, this has been an amazing time. My name is Natara, and I'm going to be signing off. I am going to be leaving you in Keishura's incredibly capable hands. I'm sure there will be no mischief involved. In the meantime, we're going to just chill here and watch a nice little Twitch ad, and we will talk to you again very soon. Thanks so much, everyone.
Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, bonjour, and ohayo gozaimasu. I am Keishura, and I am going to be here for your next host. Welcome back to RPG Limit Break 2024, coming to you live from Salt Lake City, Utah, where we are raising money for NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness. They are the nation's largest grassroots mental health organization, whose work is focused around 3 main pillars: education and support, awareness, and advocacy. What does that mean? Well, for example, their education and support. Via their 48 state offices and nearly 700 affiliates, NAMI offers a host of signature programs, presentations, and support groups that are free of charge. This includes a national helpline that can provide information, resources, and a compassionate, understanding, trained volunteer to support anyone who calls them. So thank you so much, everybody, for all of your wonderful donations. And just a reminder that all of your donations go towards a chance at winning a prize. We have a bunch of wonderful prizes again this year. We have our Buster Sword replica, which is a total sum amount across the whole marathon of $250. So you can donate $1 here, $1 there, and as long as you donate a total of $250, you're in the running for the prize. We also have the wonderful Bob the Ninja Whale Lord plush, which is a total of $75 across the entirety of this second block of this marathon. So again, donate $1 here, $2 there, and as long as you've donated $75, you are in the running for that prize. We also have a bunch of other wonderful prizes. There is a Pikachu 24-inch plushie, a Pokemon mini backpack, a Gengar 24-inch plushie, all of which are a $10 minimum to get in entry, and mermaid pendants, which is a $15 minimum donation for the running. All of these 4 prizes there, and at the end of Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu or Eevee. So if you're interested in winning one of those prizes, definitely get your donations in for that. We also have a bunch of incentives and bid wars that you can donate towards. You still have a very little bit of time to donate towards the Phantasy Star Online Episode 1 and 2 Name for the Hero. Currently, Dexter is in the lead at 500, and Some Dude at 151.